Russell Simmons.
Hey, Mr. Simmons, how are you, sir?
Hey, Russell.
Good to see you again.
Take a seat right there. Well, we're hanging out doing this radio show thing.
What are you listening to?
Very
Anything
early
good?
in the morning.
Huh? What are you listening to? Anything good?
BlackBerry, baby. I'm typing.
Typing?
Working.
Always business.
Always working, right?
He's always working.
Why do you have a
Damn.
BlackBerry? Do you still like the little buttons? I could never use them again.
Really?
Yeah, because you get used.
They're all
fuck with
iPhone
that.
guys.
But you get used to it though. You get
I'm
used
a
to it.
Oh my God, did I
BlackBerry
curse?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
on
you
this
can.
okay.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I just can't. I can't type nothing on that.
Because you're used to feeling the buttons.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you get
I
used
had
to
the
it.
fake BlackBerry where you try to make the buttons pop.
Oh, that was the
Those
worst
shits don't work
phone.
at all.
Click
The Storm?
thing?
That was a
that
bad
sucks.
phone.
Storm was terrible. It was terrible.
The new shit ain't too good either.
Yeah, I know. I didn't buy it. The Torch?
Yeah,
I
my
want-
man's got it. He's like a big tech guy. He's the first one to have it, and it keeps freezing on him.
You see all the commercials on TV, so
They
you know
should
they're
pay
not
me these
doing well.
fuckers.
Yeah, right?
You know, I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even participate.
What
I
an
would like say
endorsement.
nothing. I would simply have said I like BlackBerry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted the Torch bad, but it's obvious.
No, it's
Especially
no
with,
good.
like I said, with all the commercials they're running, that means they're in trouble.
That's why
I'm
Russell's
not
almost a
going,
billionaire though, because he's smart. He thinks of ways to make
I
money.
wish I had the money, motherfuckers. Say I got. It.
Shit.
I have 5 suffering charities and all these social and political. I could give my money to so much stuff. I'm building a financial service company.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to change the bank. It really is already changing the lives of a lot of people.
That's a bold statement. Changing the
big.
banking industry.
Yeah, it's bold, right? It's nutty to say that, right?
Yeah. What is the
Well,
background on that?
I have this. 8 years ago, I started a business, Unirush, and it's for underserved communities. With the idea that they didn't have any credit cards and they had to go to the bank and get online. They couldn't. I'm sorry, they couldn't go to the bank. They were not allowed in the bank. You know, there's 70 million Americans who have no bank accounts. They get their check. They go get online. They cash their check. And after they cash their check, they get online to pay their bills one after another. It could take 8 hours a week. They can't order shit off online. They can't rent a car. They can't rent a hotel room. They're locked out. They get online with their family to pay their phone bill.
Wait, we got 70 million Americans?
Like that. Can't have a bank
had
account.
no
And
idea.
banks don't want the rest of us. That's what's really makes our industry so interesting, the business I'm in, is because now you can build credit, it's a stored value card. It's a prepaid credit card, but also as a financial service company where we give away healthcare benefits, we give away credit building services, we give away budgeting services. You can transfer money card to card. Instead of going to Western Union and paying a fortune, use your
Right.
phone and you can send money. So that's the beginning of, and it's cheaper to operate than a free Bank of America bank account. So now it's move your money from Bank of America to my industry.
And what kind of insurance for? Because they have like the FDIC, I guess, to insure. Is the money insured, or is it not
Yeah, it's
needed?
insured. What?
But I don't know.
I'm saying. What are you saying? Like I'm going to waste your money?
No. But I don't. I'm
It's insured. No,
But how does that work?
No, a bank holds the money. I mean, and I represent, this whole, it's called Unirush Financial Services, and I just sold a piece to a big banker, but only enough so they can't corrupt it.
Damn.
Wow,
And I sold another piece to a tech company, a little piece, and they're ones who, they're great. They help build Facebook, and so between the two of them, they're really, really ambitious, but they're $30-40 billion companies, and they look at this industry and they understand what I've been building. And I was the first. Now Walmart's got a card. They're competitors. I'm not alone.
Wow.
But it's a really special industry.
Where do you get a lot of you have like a lot of faith in your
I definitely
ideas.
want to talk about financial services.
It's interesting.
If I get I'm saying the reason it had to do with getting more money to pay for more charity or more, kind of investment in people.
What was the first big because you had Def Jam Records.
That was it.
That was the first.
No, the first idea was I wanted to make a record, and I hated college. I'm saying I was in my last year of college, and I had a record Christmas rapping.
Oh, so it was actually
You weren't
you.
even born. When
I
had
was.
Christmas.
I'm older than I look. Yeah,
Christmas rapping.
In 1979, Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow.
I left the hood. I got on my first plane, and I went to Amsterdam.
Wow.
I got off the plane. I was like, "Can I have some cocaine and some pussy?" They were like, "Yes, Mr. Simmons, you can." I was like, "Oh shit, I got a hit. I got a hit record."
it's a great thing to ask for when you get off any flight. Actually,
Curtis Blow.
No.
Wow.
what happened to Curtis? What happened to a lot of the guys from like the
Curtis Blow is
70s,
probably
early
on,
80s?
on tour somewhere.
Oh, is
He's
he
a preacher,
working?
but he also is a rapper.
Yes.
He's like Joey.
Why?
Damn.
Rev,
So
like Rev,
Oh, you better.
preacher. He preach on a Sunday, rap on a Monday.
Why do most old rappers go away though? You don't really see them still doing it like old rock guys.
Like classic rock, like
Well,
Skinner
Curtis
tours.
Blow had 2 records. He had Christmas Rapping and The Breaks. He had some other records, but those 2 significant records, and he still tours. Grandmaster Flash is on the road.
yeah.
You know,
You don't really
Sugar Hill Gang is on the road.
God damn.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Whatever happened to Just Ice?
See, I'm saying you fuck with a guy. He had one, you know. Is
that what it is? One record? And
yeah,
not
he
good?
didn't have a big.
Yeah,
You
what
know,
happened to Aha?
But I like to know these are guys that I was
hit wonder.
Just
a
Ice, but
teenager.
he had one record and never even
That was
crossed
it.
over. Never on the radio.
Oh, okay.
He was never big.
He had a big. Latoya was a big hit.
The
though, right?
records we loved were artists who didn't have any, you know, kind of meaningful. I mean, they're meaningful because culturally they were everything to us, but they were not big pop records.
Right.
You know,
Hey, how old were you when you made your first million?
I don't know.
Well, because you said out of college you were already doing good, huh?
No, I had my first record out of college, but you know, you
It
think
took a while?
about money. It's like you don't remember the moments when you got a check. You remember the moments
I
when you got on
remember
the radio.
I remember when I finally
When you first
made
got on the
money.
radio, you remember that more, so much more significant.
Right.
Hearing Christmas rapping on the radio than getting a check.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's more proof that you're here to give, not get all the time, and the shit you get is small compared to the work itself. You know, like being in the studio and listening to Sucker MC or Rockbox and being high, look at the speaker like, oh, fuck. And what did I think? Wait till they hear this. You know what I mean? Wait till I share this, you know, make people happy. That's really what you think. You don't think, wait till I get paid from this motherfucker. You don't really think that, ever.
That means you had money growing up then.
No, it means that money
No?
is small and that work is different from money. You know,
You do a lot of charitable stuff. Do you indulge yourself though? Do you like?
I don't know, like indulge how?
I don't know. Like
I leave work every day, no matter what. I don't care if the contract's on the pay and the partners have flown in, and the check is right there. It's time to go to yoga. I go to yoga every
really,
day, no matter what.
I mean, like materialistically, do you indulge yourself in cars or some kind of just like what a lot of people that have money kind of do? They
have one car.
Indulge
I have a
themselves.
car. I have 2 Volkswagens in the Hamptons, and I have a car here, which is not embarrassing, but it's kind of a hip hop car. When
Yeah.
I went to campaign for the president, I had one, and we went together.
McCain.
No. yeah, right. But I had one. Jay-Z had one. Kevin Lyles had one. Steve Stout had one. Mary J. Blige. We all were there. It was like a Maybach convention.
Oh,
So I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
hip hop.
Maybach.
I don't have any. Like I don't have a gold record, but I have one thing: is this car.
Right on.
And I ride around. It's comfortable.
Do you
but other
actually
than that, I don't
drive it,
know.
or did you have someone drive it? 'Cause That's
my
a
man who
chauffeur
I grew
car.
up with drives the car.
Okay. Yeah, it's
But
like
I
a
don't,
first class airline seat in the back. They're
It's the
fucking
best.
amazing
It
cars.
is. It's really a comfortable
it is
thing to
crazy.
have.
I've
Yeah.
seen one of those before.
They should make that chair. It's really about the seat, since you're not
It
driving.
really is about that
And that seat should not cost the money it costs.
Right. It's all about the seat.
All it's about. I could give a fuck about the drive of the car.
Yeah.
It's nice that it, has decent shocks, but and so do Toyotas, you know?
That- with the woodwork in there though and everything.
Yeah,
and
we don't
it's
give a
like,
fuck.
whatever.
You should have a Maybach,
Some
though. I
wood
mean,
seat.
that's the good thing about having money. You buy what you want. But the people you said
I don't want anything else. I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
really
he doesn't
need
really-
that. I just don't need shit.
do people overestimate what you
I
have?
had a bathroom that was so far from my bedroom. I think it's why I separated from my wife. I was thinking to myself, I'm getting old, I'm going to pee on myself.
Before you make it to the bathroom.
I swear to you, it was so. I don't really need a lot of
Huge
shit. You can
house.
sit your ass in one seat at a time. Period. I don't give a fuck how many. And in fact, if you have too many seats, it's uncomfortable. Right? If no one's sitting in them, they're a waste, and you're
Look around
wasting,
at
and
the
it makes
empty
you sick.
seats.
Yeah, it makes
But
you
you at
have
least
a-
put your feet up on a stack of money. That's kind of nice.
An ottoman made of money.
This is
do
very-
you at least have a big TV?
Thank you. I was heading that
Yes.
way. This is very similar to what we went through with this guy. He just bought himself a 19-inch TV.
19-inch.
Flat screen.
Exactly. Even
Yeah,
Russell.
yeah.
He just looked up in the air like, is that even
Exactly.
possible? Do
That's
they
like a
make those?
computer
They make
monitor.
19. Yeah, it sounds like a
It's like nothing.
He doesn't make a lot of money, but we were saying
nice if it's it's all the same shit. Really,
it's all about the TV.
I have a bigger screen.
Yeah,
Not saying it in a mean
And
way.
he doesn't buy
BlackBerry.
himself shit. Apparently, he doesn't buy himself a lot of things.
yeah.
Can you please? How much you spend on the TV?
$180.
Now for $300, he could have got a much better TV. He's not being smart. He's being obsessively
Did you get
cheap.
the TV yet? Did you actually leave the store with it?
Yeah.
Because I was going to give you
Can you
$100.
show him the picture really fast?
I really was going to give you $100.
Yeah, he's gonna give him $100 for it.
It's
Look at it.
insane. You got to take care of yourself a little bit.
You suck.
That's what we're getting at with all this.
So wait, do I have to leave soon? I better talk about my show. I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah,
man.
your show,
Well,
man.
if you want to leave,
Yeah, but
you
no, I'm
can
hanging. I ain't got nowhere to go.
This
This
is
fuckers
like-
had me here half an hour early like I was a singer. It's true. This morning they had me
warm up.
come here a half an hour early like I was a singer.
Do they always do that to you because they think you're going to be late, or are they just
I'm never
obsessively?
late, and I don't like that. I don't need to be told,
We got
My publicist said, I didn't do it. My assistant said, I didn't do it. I said, why the fuck?
And who did it?
Somebody did it.
Somebody
She said,
did
I'll
it.
show you the email. She said, I don't know. I'll find the email for you.
Yeah, we understand the
Yeah,
pass the
that's
buck
all right.
thing.
That's his TV.
That's his 19-inch.
And
How
it's-
awful
That's
is
it right there, right?
Notice the cable box, which is longer than the TV.
It's
Well, God bless
we're
you.
enraged. Yeah, exactly.
you get
Cable
so
box is almost the size of the TV. I would have gave you $100. I swear to you. Huh? I still. All right.
And what do you
You need it?
Are you an aspiring?
Don't take
Hoarder.
Russell's money.
So.
Don't take his money.
He can take
He's
my
got
money.
He's got his wallet out.
Yeah, come on.
No, don't take,
Oh,
don't
man.
take Russell Simmons' money.
Why?
Oh man,
I know he's a very charitable guy, but
he's
Yes.
very charitable.
he's just cheap, Russell. He's not poor.
He's not
That's to
Push.
take
He's
your
just a cheap
that's
guy.
to take that piece of shit back and get a real TV.
Would
have
you
to
do
put-
that?
you have to put Russell's
Would you do
100.
that? Or would you email us the picture of a different television? Or are you happy with that?
If you give me I'll do it. If you give me the
You promise me.
you
gotta.
Simmons, I promise you.
All right, you gotta give.
And I'll make sure he
will
gets
you guys
this.
fire him if he doesn't get
Yes.
a new TV?
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna fire him either
You don't
way.
get a bigger TV.
Hey,
You're
at least
fucking
he'll have a bigger
fired.
TV.
All right.
Yeah, you'll be watching a lot of that TV once we boot your ass out of here.
So why? I was on CNN all weekend, and the woman, you know, the woman asked me. She was really sweet though, Frederica. I did like an hour and a half interview, and they cut it up into 4 or 5 different segments. So every 2 hours, a different segment. One was about my book, Super Rich, which is coming out in January. One was about just the social and political stuff I do, and one was about the reality show. And they wanted to know why I use certain language on my show. And it was kind of a tough, a moment where she said, would you like your daughters? I said, well, I said, who are these bitches in my bathroom? I didn't say I got 200 bitches come to my house. I had 200 women come to my house. We raised $400,000 for Sarah Leone. We had 200 Victoria's Secret girls. Some were Sports Illustrated. They came to my house, and then 100 men came, and we built a maternity ward. It was Angels for Africa, which was the first of the series. And she didn't really like the language I used when I said, who are these bitches in the bathroom? And in the CNN, it was like challenging me in a way that was very uncomfortable. And I felt, that they didn't mention, they talk about the missing girl for 4 months that's from Brooklyn or whoever it is, and they don't mention the 18,000 Africans that died yesterday for lack of clean water, or they don't mention the 200,000 Iraqi innocent Muslims, innocent civilians who die in our invasion or whatever we call it. They don't mention the 10 billion suffering farm animals that die every year and the greatest cause of global warming and cancer and every fucking thing else. They don't prioritize human suffering. They don't prioritize. So for them to say, you did that for ratings. She said, I use my language like that for ratings.
That's ridiculous.
And I felt, that's just the kind of course they'll challenge you. Oprah, anyone will challenge me. And I'm not saying that, but I have my own set of rules, and the show is about my own set of rules. The gay rights, the animal rights, the violence in the communities. These kind of subjects are covered on my show. And I thought they were more important than the language, but she got the one word when I say bitch.
How did you respond to her?
Never mind the maternity ward we built in Sarah Leone as a result of the first episode, or the animal rights protest of the second episode, or whatever it is. So she responded okay, except that she cut out my response to her. I said, I'm more concerned with animal rights and gay rights. And then I said, but how do you justify your priorities? Like, you make these choices. They cut all that shit out.
You should tape all your interviews.
You got to go live.
Because this way they can never fuck you. Like who goes around and tapes their interviews and shows what they cut out? Who did?
Farrakhan.
Who? WWE? I'm sure
Farrakhan does that.
probably does that.
Oh, Vince does that?
You should have every one of your interviews taped, so if they fuck you like that, you could put it online and
Sweet
show what
enough
they
woman,
do.
but I said, what I said, whether
she's
your
not a
priority is
sweet woman.
CNN.
Yeah, you put
at CNN. Don't you have priorities too? Don't you? And is it for ratings that you choose?
It's only
one
fair.
guy's burning a book
Journalistic
in fucking
integrity.
Alaska,
It's
wherever he was. One guy
yeah.
with 30 people in his congregation burns a book, and it causes protests around the world, international almost crisis, because one nut burns a book. And he didn't get to burn the book. We made big news out of it.
Yeah.
That became the most important news item over all the suffering, all of the, the unconscious behavior, all the silly shit that happens around them every day, and they're the news.
And they cut it.
Oh, yeah, they're
How
pushing,
sickening.
and they're pushing you. You should be able to push them back.
Push them back a little. They shouldn't
Why
cut it
not?
out. It was my,
They're
my observation
sickening.
about, their choices, just like they, had an observation about mine.
Do you feel that you're making a difference, or do you feel that you're one of those 1 step forward, 3 steps back kind of
No,
thing?
I don't like to
whenever
feel
you
that
do
way.
something?
I think that, it's intention. I wake up, in prayer. I feel like I'm going to go out and give, and I feel like some of the gifts are useful, and I feel like I'm, and I know the world is already going to be what it is. There's going to always be suffering. There's always going to be, something to change. There's always going to be some. But, as a servant, you do what's right. And what good is a byproduct of if you do right action, and good is a byproduct. And you hope that you can internalize it because, you just, a real, some people just think the world's so perfect they don't have to do shit. And they just, they're just a servant, but they've given away action completely. And I think that's kind of the way I want to believe it. Just go and give and don't worry.
Is it more spiritually based, or is it like karmic, or you?
It's kind of karmic, spiritual stuff, and the sacrifice is cleansing and good, and it's the work is prayer, and that's it. You don't worry about. You can't always worry about result because. Then then it could pile up on you. Yeah, you only have control over your actions, not the results.
Do you feel you're sacrificing enjoying other things in life for maybe something that that you're looking for in the afterlife, or
what afterlife? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be a snail. What the fuck's gonna happen? I just find that like people want satisfaction now. I always would go out and get high. I've been sober for, and I've been a vegan for, forever, right? So I would go out and I would get high and I'd wake up and have a headache. But I had fun the night before and the headache was worth it. Then one day the headache wasn't worth it. And the meditation in the morning, you wanted clarity instead of the headache. And you liked the morning meditation and it just felt better. And that was what, and so you move towards these things because you find out that your mother, the preacher, the prophet, the imam, the fucking whoever it is, the monk, they tell you they're right. So you try to, some of the stuff they tell you is, you learn that it's right. And you find that, no matter how many times you try to shift the blame or the choice to something less, holy. I don't mean holy like holy. I mean, like, something, you find it, yeah, they were right. So you get your ass whipped and you come back to operating in order.
It just seems like such a chore, and this is selfish me talking, such a chore to be so motivated to do so much help.
I'm a yogi, not a priest. I'm fucked up with a lot of things. I accept that, I'm confused about pussy. Should I not say that?
Well, please say it. Yeah,
I love it.
I struggle with that. I live on 7th Avenue. I'm surrounded by beautiful girls. I know I'm going to be somebody's bitch again, but in the short term, I'm not quite right.
When you said confused about pussy, I thought we had a bond over trannies. You know how much that hurt? Oh, was I ready?
He's a funny motherfucker. Oh, that's good.
I was ready to jump in with both feet.
Your reality show is about the women behind the men.
Yes,
right.
Well, not about those girls. They're my heroes. I work for them.
Yeah, and that's what I read about your show. Is that the case? Are you?
I have one girl who's been with me for 27 years. Her name is Simone. Last episode, she laid nude in a pool of blood on 42nd Street, covered with plastic, like produce, fresh produce. And she's since become, and always was, an animal rights hero in the activist community. So that was one of her protests. She's been laying nude in pools of blood and with red, bloody, fake fur and whatever, forever. But this particular one we filmed as part of one of our protests, and it went on television. And it was a big deal to a lot of people.
Can I ask you a quick? Because I'm kind of, I eat meat, but I really am big on animals being treated badly. It drives me nuts. Do you think that sometimes PETA, who I think are well-intentioned, or they go too far and they lose people that they wouldn't lose?
You have the Humane Society, you have ASPCA. It takes all levels of support for different, you had John Brown and you had a legislator, for slavery, or you had somebody, somebody has to speak up. And I think what they do is really valid. I've negotiated deals with major corporations on their behalf, and when they come to the table to negotiate with a company, a KFC or somebody, they come and they say, listen, why don't you get machines to separate the chickens? If you do this, then over a period of 3 years, you'll make this much money, and it'll be that much better. Even you'll make more. The world will be, we'll be happy. We won't fuck with you for 20 years or 16 years or 14 years, whatever it is. We won't call you back, and McDonald's did it. Could you do it? Because if you two do it together, that's the end. You don't have any problems. Everybody will have to follow you. That'll be the industry. So we'll have this kind of practices. Or this much, whatever it is that becomes the standard practice because you're the leaders. And so they go after the leaders.
So they do have a certain amount of common sense that they use where they're willing to compromise.
When they compromise and they have it all sorted out, they have all the economics, when they present a plan, they go in with a reasonable plan. They can't say, from now on, don't sell chicken.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't say that shit.
But that's the image. That's the image and the impression that a lot of people get is that it's just unreasonable.
Well, they got an army of people who are maybe unreasonable in in regards to someone else's business. They say you are causing suffering, so much so that the karma, the planet, everybody is being, burned by you, and we hate you. And then they come in and say, let's move it one step at a time and negotiate the deals. That's so. That's reasonable.
Have you been arrested? Have you marched? Because a lot of guys will go out and march a little bit. And have you ever, Martin Sheen will go out and chain himself to trees and stuff?
I mean, I'm not just an animal rights activist. I have many causes and things that I care about, but I've not been arrested. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that. That I've not broken my cherry, as Reverend Sharp said. You ain't broke your cherry, boy. You ain't done shit.
Do you want to be arrested for one of these causes?
No. I want to be. Fuck no. Do I want to get arrested?
Obviously,
Well, I
no.
mean, it's like
but you would, though.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Depends
that's
on
what
which. I mean, not depend. Anything I.
Why do we jump past the he's confused with pussy thing?
Well, I don't know. We can get back to that. I'm pleased.
The show is called Running Russell Simmons
all right.
Tuesday on Oxygen.
Tuesdays at 10 o'clock on Oxygen.
Yeah, the first show we had 200 Victoria's Secret models, and they raised, and someone at Sports Illustrated and Victoria's Secret, and we raised $400,000 for building up. Yeah, it was Angels for Africa, first show. And for built at Sarah Leone, we built a maternity ward. And second show, we had Simone did the animal rights protest. And third show is our annual Hamptons. Tomorrow, we'll have Amber Rose on there and Reggie Bush. A lot of people on the show. Everybody from the Hugging Saint to Courtney Love, from T.I. to Deepak Chopra, from just Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys to, just there's so many different people in the few episodes we shot. Because people come through my office. Interesting people come through from the Hindus to the Muslims to the Jews to the, just every kind of interesting person comes through my office. I love that about my office. Lots of diversity.
Do you being in the position you're in, it's like after a while when you get girls, you could pretty much bang any kind of girl you want, whenever you want. Do you find yourself bored with that and like looking for other stuff to kind of be stimulated? Because it is after a while, you can get whatever you want.
Well, since I've been single, I've had two very serious relationships. One was short, and so it was 3, but one was short, but was really intense. And then other than that, I've been single. So I've been single for about a year now. And it piles up, it gets a little boring.
Yeah.
One after the other?
Yeah, but not one after the other, but just the idea that you find... people, sometimes guys will go after a girl because she's pretty and fun a little bit, but you really know it's not your perfect match. Where girls are busy sitting, some girls are sitting and looking for like the perfect guy. So they sit around. Their single life is less exciting than a guy's life could be. I operate out of 7th Avenue. I meet beautiful women all the time. And, and sometimes I go out with girls who I know I'm not going to marry. Right?
Yeah,
you do that, right?
Yeah, everyone. I've never even thought of marrying one.
Exactly. So
I'll be lucky if they make it out of my car without blowing me.
Well, there you have it.
So what do you look for? Because after a while, you have to wonder, like, does this girl like me for me, or because I'm like, what immediately makes you say about a girl, like, I kind of like this girl?
I kind of like some girls because they're pretty. Honestly, I mean, I don't like fur, wearing, cigarette smoking, if I can help it. I mean... Because they're not, because they're foreign to, I think, from what you're thinking, and people who make fun of your causes. I like girls who are interested in what I'm interested in, but I meet these girls like I just came back from Sierra Leone at this meditation retreat, and I studied in India with Patabi Joyce, and I'm a great yogi, vegan, perfect. And they're cold from hell. You never know. And people have read about you and they tell you shit. But I don't know. I like pretty girls. And sometimes I say, are you interested in? Say, really? I know about that. And I talk about it. And I think that's not my favorite subject. But I'm on that subject.
She's real pretty.
Right. So
I'll give her some leeway.
So you're equally as guilty as they are in some ways.
Who's a better bang? The vegan who's into meditation or the coke whore?
Yogis are pretty freaky.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, yogis are like really. Yeah. You know the story about Krishna and Radha. You probably don't know this.
I know it, but they don't.
Right.
No, you don't. You lion sack.
Radha was married, and Krishna and Radha had carried on a very scandalous relationship. In fact, he was married as well. And Krishna had many girls, and Radha was his favorite girl. And he and Radha, their love was so inspired that the whole kingdom would look at them, and many people would be enlightened just by seeing their love. But Radha was still and Krishna was still, and I think that they both, I think they fucked a part of the kingdom. between
Really?
them.
Where were they
Together.
Where were they?
A lot of Hindus don't dispute that.
Oh, Hindus, okay.
But it's just they're the deities, and well, they actually lived according to, and so Krishna and Radha were kind of inspired, right? But they had the same struggle. And Lord Buddha said right before enlightenment that was his last struggle.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
That was his last struggle.
Yeah, it's like indiscriminate, like, sex, right? It's like a difficult, for most, people, like, you look at Solomon, they got problems. We got problems.
Yeah.
I really like Russell because I know this is a guy who likes to fuck, and as this is what
No,
he's.
but not only likes to fuck, the idea, that's just a man struggling. They act like
yeah.
it's not, and, it is. And it's not so puritanical in my view anyway, I'm less offended by, someone who wants to have sex than I am by somebody who wants to destroy the planet by, contributing to so much crazy behavior. I'm really concerned. The 10 billion suffering farm animals, you must think that there's some karma attached to that. I think when you know it, you must think so. When you realize what it is, you must think that.
Why'd they make steak so delicious then? God damn it. It's just wonderful.
Wow, Russell just gave you a.
I
don't know.
Gave you a-
I mean, I don't know.
Delicious.
How long did you eat meat for?
Up until, I don't know.
Yeah.
Up until 13 years ago.
Did you like it?
Huh?
Did you
like-
think it was delicious?
It was fine. I ate pig feet.
Really?
Yeah, but I feel better
rough.
now.
Yeah.
I'm much healthier now.
Oh, yeah.
My nutritionist looks at me. He's like, when are you going to eat some fish or something? You need some fish oil. I said, but you just checked my hair and my DNA and everything. Am I missing anything? He said, no, you're not missing anything for 53 years old. You're okay. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay. I'm all right. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't, eat meat every day. That's for sure. Moderation.
Yeah.
But
Moderation.
I understand. I've been out with enough.
at your moderation.
Moderation. That's a good rap. People say that shit all the time. It's not good. Or
No,
it's
I
good
mean like
sometimes.
red meat. Anyway,
Not judgment. Being happy is the
I'll
most.
eat chicken like a motherfucker.
If it's
Yeah.
health issues we're talking about, 50% of that shit's got to be just happiness. I think
Yeah.
your endorphins that come out are anti-inflammatory or depending on where your brain is. And I think maybe 25% of it could be diet, and 25% of it's good to work out, circulation. That's a good mix.
How good is yoga for losing weight? 'Cause I tried Bikram twice and I almost had a stroke.
Well, where I go, Bikram, they never talk yoga. Yoga is a whole 8 steps, and in the 8 steps, the classic yoga they refer to as 8 steps. There are 7 steps that are not about the physical practice, but the idea of physical practice is you smile and breathe in every difficult pose, right? And you take that with you in life, so it's good. That's the physical practice of yoga. But when you do it, and it's an aggressive class, like a Bikram class, but not Bikram, somewhere where it's really yoga, and you do this practice, and you sweat, and then you're with these people, and they're all dedicated, and they're all vegan, and then you start to take care of your temple more because it gets in you, people around you, and it becomes a culture, and you start making choices.
I just want to lose my stomach and man tits, and I really don't feel like lifting weights.
You can lose your man tits and other shit, but yoga does help. Yeah,
It
you
does,
can lose
right?
a lot of weight. Of course you can.
How long is your class? Each one you go to?
An hour and a half.
See, that's-
Wow.
I like it.
A long time.
An hour. If Bikram was an hour, I never would have stopped going. But it was that last 30 minutes that just
Gets you.
fucking.
That's the idea. That's what kills you. The last 30 minutes.
But I wasn't in good shape for
where
the
you're
first
losing the
hour
weight.
either. I wasn't cruising along. I was near death, and that last half hour just made me go. I want to fucking go
But
home.
you jumped right in. You should have taken a beginner class or
It
something.
was humiliating. All these fucking
You went right to
90-pound girls
Bik-
with camel toe in front of me, and I'm just sitting there like a fat lump.
That's the best. That's how I started. It was all girls and me. I couldn't touch
looking
my
around.
toes. I was in class. It was all hot girls. This is 15 years ago. There was no guys.
Right.
Maybe one gay guy.
Right.
And you and 50 girls.
Damn.
It was hot.
How great are yoga outfits, though? They're always tight, and they just cling to the crotch. What's better than a girl in yoga pants? Yoga pants. Women should be forced to wear yoga pants to
All
work
day
every
long,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, no matter what they do for a living. Female cops, nuns. Yoga pants rule.
Jesus Christ. You're talking about the work you did in Sierra Leone. What do you attribute the problem? And I know it's sort of not an easily answered question, but the problem with Africa, where so much help is needed.
I was in London last week, and we raised $1 million for the Diamond Empowerment Fund. And what we do there, we have a school in Africa. Well, some of the kids are meditators there, and it's Cedar Institute, and Cedar Institute is a free college. It's impossible to get in that school.
Really,
it's a free college, but and the funnel, people who can get in that school versus people who need education. It's almost like the new problem in America. They think it's funny that no one gets educated and everybody's dumb as shit. This is a problem. I don't know how we think we're going to be competitive on the world economy without educating our kids. So that's the problem. Lack of education and opportunity.
Lack of education. How come that hasn't just, there's so much infighting well,
we create a lot of the infighting. When somebody has some shit, like you got some oil, we're going to create a fight. You ain't going to fucking hold on to your oil.
Yeah.
If you have diamonds, I mean, until recently, now I work in some ways in defense of the diamond industry. I run this jewelry company, and I created this diamond empowerment fund. And I met with President Mandela, I met with President Mahai and President Mbeki, and we talked about the diamond industry, and it's a great benefit to the countries that have it and have decent deals.
Right, and there's a lot more accountability now.
It's a lot more accountability, but the rest of the industries, extractive industries, are pretty bad, and all of them, if there's something, you find some shit in your country and you ain't got a big military, or you don't have a strong-ass government, you're going to be destabilized. If you look through Africa and you look wherever there's great resources, there's great instability. And not because the people are fighting over it, but yet the people are motivated by different corporations, people, countries that would like to participate in their shit. It's their shit, but they can't benefit from it.
I understand that part of it, but it confuses me, things like warlords taking food away from the people, that
that happens all over the world.
Aid that comes in, and it's like you're killing your own people. But
you have to look at it this way. If you start with the premise that people are all the same and have the same aspirations, the same needs, wants, same everything, and you put them all over the world, these same people have the potential to create, and they all do, create beautiful religions with the exact same principles. And then you see places where they survive, and places where they don't. It has to do with the freedom that you give to them. And the lack of you cannot deny people freedom and expect them to flourish, right? Mm-hmm. And so when people, it's always a result of karma, and always a result of cause and effect, and always a result. So it's never. So why can't they do it? Well, they have something you have they don't have in some cases, And I can't imagine what cases that you can get away with some shit because you're smarter or you're better. No one's better, so they all, I kind of give people the benefit of the doubt. I know that when people are suffering, there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. Why can't these kids get educated? Well, I don't know. Can we give them a school that's better than their home, and they go to the school and they feel happy and they learn? Or what are we doing to help to relieve their suffering is the only question I ask.
I would be out of my mind if I thought like that. Like you are a very generous guy. It's amazing that you could see these problems and actually go, I'm going to do something about that. Yeah. Like, it's beyond me. It seems like it would make you feel good to do them, but to me, it seems like the stress of having to actually figure out how to do it would be overwhelming.
No, man, there's no stress. There is stress if you create it. I think the world, as a servant, doesn't matter where you are, where you come in. It's very relative.
Now, what do you consider you a servant of? Like, who would you consider yourself serving?
Well, if I was a religious guy, which I'm not.
Obviously, I figured out you're not a religious guy, but you did say servant.
I would say God. And if God was like the big ocean, right, and you were a cup of God, serve yourself.
Okay. That makes sense.
So if you're connected, if you believe that you were connected to the animals, connected to the environment, connected to other people, then when you go to work to serve, you'd feel comfortable serving.
So you're serving yourself. The collective, which in turn helps you.
And that's also not sweating the results, too, is what helps you do it. I'm saying this just because I know other people who do it. I'm a self-centered ass.
Of course you are.
But when you don't sweat the results, you just give and you don't panic about what's going to happen. It's not stressful.
It's a yoga principle, obviously.
It's not only a yogic principle, it's a Christian, it's a Jewish, it's a Muslim principle. It's the basic principle of all.
And that's where he gets his pleasure
from, helping others. We're very jaded, and it's very hard to accept and believe that people are doing something just because it's good.
You remember the Magnificent Seven when Holmes was getting ready to get it? Oh, he already got shot himself. He was laying there, going to die. And he says, why are we back here? And he just looked, he said, for the gold. You stupid motherfucker. Just died. Just fucking died for the gold. I had a friend ask me, yo, Russ, man, what all them charities you run, man, what's the angle?
Yeah, what's your angle? You gotta be asked that a lot. Like, what's your angle, man? What's this guy like looking into it? It's like he's gotta have something
It's not
running
the
here.
specific best route to new pussy. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah.
There's other shit you can do, like, you know what I mean? To get, I don't know.
Yeah,
There's not a lot.
Yeah,
want.
schools in Sierra Leone are not the way to meet chicks. It's definitely not the way
I
to.
guess so, unless there's a bunch of.
The schools in South Africa. Sierra Leone is maternity ward.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, it's just you do it for fun, right?
I guess so. I
Right.
guess, you know,
it's not that big a deal. You could do it, and you do it now. Just by, I mean, you do
I
it. You
probably
like making
couldn't.
people happy. You get up
I
every
do
morning.
like making people happy, and if it's
Okay.
sitting on my couch watching television, they're happy.
You don't like doing that shit too
I am a
much.
lazy bum, Russell.
What else?
Well, you only have a couple minutes
They're
left,
saying
so we,
that you
so
got
we
3
should
minutes
promote the
left.
show.
Yeah, the show.
The show.
Running Russell Simmons,
I swear,
Tuesday at 10
I
on
said too
Oxygen.
much about the purpose of the show, but on top of that, we have these 2 interns. They're a lot of fun. And there's a lot of fun shit. We're on 7th Avenue. Again, I'm a yogi, not a priest. The most beautiful women you ever seen. The most fun, interesting stories. I mean, and I think that it's not like most reality. Like last week, for instance, like one of the assistants flashed her pussy at T.I. That was supposed to be a big deal, everybody. That was one of the things that girls CNN objected to, but it was a Sharon Stone moment. And when they dragged her in the office, one of the not assistant, one of the interns. When they dragged her in the office, she said, "Oh my God, was it a Britney moment?" And then I realized the generation gap.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a Britney moment.
you think Sharon Stone? She thinks Britney, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was, and then little funny stuff happens throughout, and lots of parties and lots of interesting people, and it's really a different show than you see. And it's not. I didn't want to have talking heads telling the story because I didn't want to stop and see reality, because once I see reality, I turn. But, you know, I lost that battle, and the network and I have, you know, fought about little things, but the creative aggravation between all of it has turned out good, and the
And you're
show
happy with it?
is very funny and very interesting. And
What did T.I. do when the girl flashed
he
him?
went like, he just looked
He
down.
looked
like,
down.
Oh, fuck.
That's a rapper who gets a lot of ass. Because I would have just. Yeah, I would have. So you got to be smart. If you act like it's not interesting to you, that draws more women
He
in.
didn't have to do it. That was a funny moment, but that
Yeah.
was last week. This week, Amber Rose stays at my house, and we, because globalgrind.com is my venture, and the women from Global Grind come in my office and they asked me how to build a celebrity channel, and I said Amber was the most trending celebrity on our network, so we brought her in and took her to my house, and then we had this big party, which I have a 4th of July party every year, and it was there, and lots of celebrities came to the party, and Amber was kind of an interesting. She's crazy as shit. She
Yeah.
needs a show of her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fun.
Spin-off.
Yeah.
spin-off
So who else
action.
is there? My kids, Reverend Run is on this show this week. His kids are on this show this week. It's a whole bunch of beautiful girls and fun people and hip hop. You know, Nick Cannon's on the show this week. Reggie Bush is on the show this week.
I have a great idea for an episode if you haven't shot them all, but like
Here he goes.
what? I can't help my friend. As a charitable thing, you know a comedian who's never had a threesome with 2 hot chicks, and you try to make that happen. And if the 2 girls can get through it without vomiting, you give them a prize.
JB Smoove was on the show.
Of course.
No, he's a comedian.
I know he is. He's my friend, but I was hoping to get myself some ass, not hooking JB up. He's got to
Get
fucking
you some ass? Are you kidding me? You can't get ass?
Oh, he
I
gets
said I
a lot
couldn't,
of
but I
You get
can't.
plenty of ass, right?
I get
does
a,
all right.
no, I get a
He
decent.
does.
I get radio ass. I don't get Russell Simmons ass.
That's the difference.
There's a different level of ass. I get, you know.
Anyway, it's
I
a
don't get-
pleasure being on your show. I really appreciate you guys having
Yeah,
me on.
absolutely.
Yeah,
and I hope they
Russell's
don't
gotta go.
get in trouble for having using real
No.
language.
Nah, it's
Our
fine.
intentions aren't that
I like
bad,
that.
right? We're not that fucked up,
No.
right? In our heads.
We like real
I don't think
language.
so.
Running Russell Simmons Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Oxygen.
Check it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Russell. Back and see us.